What's your worst carpool parent horror story? Madison ran our carpool like her personal kingdom and treated the rest of us like servants. Every Tuesday and Thursday, her white Range Rover would screech into my driveway 40 minutes late while she laid on the horn like we were the problem. She'd roll down her window and shout things like, "Some of us have actual careers to manage," while her kids sat in the back eating syrup-covered waffles that would end up ground into everyone's backpacks. The other three families in our rotation kept making excuses for her because she was married to some hedge fund guy who donated a lot to the school. But after she told my 8-year-old daughter that our Subaru was basically a death trap poor people drive, I started keeping track of every single thing she did. That was week 2 of school, and I could already tell Madison was going to be a problem. By week 3, Madison's behavior went from entitled to genuinely strange. She started showing up to afternoon pickups looking disheveled, laughing too loud at nothing, and fumbling with her keys while insisting she was just tired from her book club lunches. Her Thursday arrivals began featuring this weird sweet perfume smell that seemed way too strong for 3 p.m. The kids started coming home with bizarre stories that didn't quite make sense. My daughter mentioned Madison stopped at a mailbox for no reason one day. Another kid said Madison kept swerving to avoid invisible squirrels. When another mom offered to take over one of Madison's driving days, Madison got weirdly defensive and told her, maybe if you got a real job instead of selling essential oils, you could afford a car worth trusting with children. She began insisting the kids sit in absolute silence during rides, threatening that anyone who complained would be banned from her daughter's upcoming pool party. My daughter started having mysterious stomach aches every Tuesday and Thursday morning. That weekend, I created a group chat without Madison to see if anyone else was concerned. That's when everything exploded. One mom said her son had been recording Madison on his phone because he was scared, and the videos showed her texting while driving on the highway and running straight through red lights. Another parent said their kid finally admitted Madison had been drinking something from a wine bottle in a paper bag during pickups, and telling the kids, "If you brats mention this to anyone, I'm dropping you off on the highway." The sweet perfume smell was her covering up alcohol. The mailbox she'd stopped at was one she'd actually hit while drunk. We found her Instagram full of posts from her book club, which was just day drinking at different wine bars, including one that said, "Don't worry, I drive better after a few drinks anyway." Then I found something even worse in a local Facebook group where Madison had posted that Wednesday's early release was perfect because I can get properly drunk at the PTA wine fundraiser, and these carpool peasants will still beg me to drive their kids. I immediately called the school resource officer and showed him everything we'd discovered, including the videos from the kids' phones. He said he couldn't arrest her for past incidents, but would be waiting in the parking lot on Wednesday. I screenshot everything and sent it to the other parents with a plan. On Tuesday night, I messaged the main group saying my car was having transmission problems and asking if anyone could cover my Wednesday afternoon pickup. Madison immediately volunteered, saying she'd already be at school for the PTA wine tasting. The other parents played along perfectly, thanking her profusely. On Wednesday at 11:45, Madison posted a selfie from the wine tasting with the caption, "Mommy juice before mommy duty." At noon, she staggered to her Range Rover to pick up all 5 kids. This time, we were all watching from the parking lot. She could barely walk in a straight line to her car. Madison made it exactly 3 blocks before running the red light we'd told the officer about, right in front of where he was waiting with an off-duty cop. She plowed straight into the back of a minivan while all 5 kids screamed in terror. When the officers approached, Madison rolled down her window and said, "Do you know who my husband is? He owns half this town, and you're about to lose your jobs." The breathalyzer showed she was twice the legal limit. As they handcuffed her, she kept screaming that the wine was expensive, and that meant she couldn't be drunk because quality alcohol doesn't cause impairment like the cheap stuff poor people drink. We rushed to our kids who were sitting on the curb crying, and that's when my daughter told me the worst part. Madison had been making them take turns sitting in the trunk because she said 5 kids made her car look like a poor person's minivan.